we often don't think about is how we are feeling, like personally, not to use mirroring to manipulate people. How you're feeling, if you're anxious, if you're nervous for that job interview, for that meeting with that new client, understand however you're feeling, that other person is picking up on that vibe. And so now you're making them uncomfortable and them nervous. So we'll explore, why can we watch one person and say they're totally lying, and we watch someone else and we're like, I totally believe them. I totally believe them. It's because we start to try on the other person's emotions. As a matter of fact, one of the best ways to detect deception is to not try on other people's emotions when you watch them and you interact with them. All right, I think that we have at least 2 people. Hey, Jake and Mitzi. I'm going to start this party. Everybody else, you'll have to rewind. This is intense. It's an hour-long show every Wednesday night, 10 o'clock. Today it'll run over because we're just getting everyone on board. It'll run to about 11:15. All right, we've got a lot to cover. All right, here's the party. Let's start it up.
So, this is the thing. I've always led with love. I will always lead with love. You know what I'm saying? So I will only step up and stand up against someone that leads with hate.
What was that? Hey, just put on Facebook Live, somebody, either Jake or Mitzi. Could you hear the sound on my video? Could you hear my sound on my video?
So, this is the thing. I've always led with love. I will always lead with love. You know what I'm saying? So I will only step up and stand up against someone that leads with hate.
Then you're going to have to step up to yourself, little buddy. All right, this guy, if you've not been following this case, his name is Jussie, and hopefully my sound is coming through with regard to this video, because holy smokes, this was him on The View with ABC saying he stands for love and stands up to anyone who spreads hate, and here he is spreading hate. I got to tell you, in my world, there's something called offering evidence before it's asked. I'm the mother of 3 sons. He's telling us who he's not, right? He's saying, I'm not the kind of guy that stands for hate. I'm the type of guy that stands for love. So he's telling us who he is. And I go up against anybody who stands for hate. It's like saying, I just want to let you know, I'm not the kind of person who's not going to cheat on you. Or I'm saying, I have 3 sons. Instead of me saying, I have 3 sons, it's like, I just want to let everybody know, I do not have 8 daughters. So here, it's a little bit of the whole Nixon, I am not a crook. He's telling us who he is with like this disclaimer. I'm the type of person that stands for love, and I'll go against anybody stands for hate. Just don't believe it now with the big news that broke today in Chicago. If you're not familiar with it, I'm going to go through that right now. You can see it off to the bottom corner here. That's right, everybody. If you've not heard, charges are going to be brought up against Jussie. Felony criminal charges. They've been approved by Cook County, and this came out from the police department here in Chicago today, and unbelievable. So they're going to be talking with Jussie Smollett's attorneys on when he's going to turn himself in, so he could be what we like to call law enforcement, arrested. And if you look at a couple other headlines, Al Sharpton came out in the last couple of days saying Jussie should face accountability to the maximum if the attack was staged. And we see this in 2007. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this. Listen, people are giving me a hard time here that I mixed up a couple of my facts with regard to the 2 brothers. They are American citizens. They just have heritage outside of the United States. Just like me, I have Scottish and Irish heritage. So I want to just clean that up. If you're coming here to get your news, don't come here to get your news. I'm a body language person. I don't work for a news outlet. So I'm sorry if I've got a couple of the details wrong. That's on me. I'll make sure I clean it up anytime I make a mistake. I got to tell you, it's probably going to happen because I'm here to analyze body language and detecting deception. So if I make a mistake, you don't have to go crazy on me. Just let me know and I'll put a little update, or you can let us all know, hey, Janine, just want to clear this part up. There's so much swirling around. I don't have a team of people here investigating every detail that's coming my way. So I'm just primarily talking to you about the body language and detecting deception, and I want to make sure the facts are accurate. So if I say something wrong, let me know. You don't have to be nasty about it. By the way, I did these 3 videos. If you haven't seen them yet, they're on YouTube, 4 videos on YouTube. Combined, it's almost 2 hours long, so check them out. go to YouTube, Janine Driver, Celebrity Lie Detector, and you'll see those there. I stayed up till 4:30 in the morning. I wanted to get ahead of the game because I knew he was going to end up getting arrested. And I wanted to be on record saying it all before it all went down. And we'll go there in a bit. What else did I want to tell you about this? This is what I wanted to say. In 2007, and now I don't know if this is true or not, but this was on the internet today on Fox, is in 2007, Jussie was arrested for drinking and driving, and he lied and gave his younger brother's name. Come on, dude. So in 2007, he's arrested for drinking and driving, and his instinct is to give his younger brother's name to the police. Way to be a big brother. Way to be a big brother. Listen, as the mother of 3 boys, I'm telling this story to my 3 sons, and I'll be damned if one of my kids gives one of the brothers names because they make a stupid mistake. Listen, you got to fall on your sword. Listen, and I'm not perfect, believe me. I've got a laundry list of stuff that I'm still working on. I'm working on my marriage. I'm working on being a better mother. I'm working on my finances. I'm working on better business decisions. I'm working on hiring better people that I can trust and in my back. And whoa, the laundry list is long. Also, people giving me a hard time that I said this guy is young. All right, he's in his 30s. All right, I'm almost 50, guys. So 30 to me is young. All right, so he's not a little baby, and what he did is wrong. I'm not saying what he didn't do is wrong. Is not wrong. It is wrong. And he should pay the consequences, and he should apologize. The reason I said I'm a prayer person, and I hope, we can find it eventually to be at a place where we forgive him once he asks for forgiveness and serves whatever sentence he gets, is because I think it's so easy for us to attack other people when we ourselves are, doing the best we can and we do stupid decisions. And I don't think it's our place to be running around and causing harm to everybody. So anyway, I'm a prayer person. I'm praying for this guy because I have a funny feeling massive amounts of hate are going to come his way. All right, California misdemeanor complaint against Jussie. Over here, you see on the left of my screen. I don't know how it shows up for you guys. This is where he talks about his brother, and he gave his brother. Supposedly, the headlines say today, Jussie Smollett cut from Empire episodes amid attack controversy. We'll see if that's true. Let's dive in. I want to talk today about Jussie and Kim Kardashian. So we got Jussie Smollett and Kim Kardashian. I want to go into how can we tell the difference between when someone is lying and someone is telling the truth. And I pulled some really cool footage that's going to blow your mind. And I'm going to walk you through the process, and you're going to feel, oh, okay, I can see why this person's telling the truth. I'm also going to show you other people who have been attacked and them telling their stories. And the reason I'm showing you them, it's for many reasons. So we can compare both Jussie and Kim Kardashian when she was tied up and attacked and robbed in Paris. And so we can break some of the myths about body language, because you're going to see these people who were attacked and they're legit and it can be proven that they were attacked. They're doing things like smiling at inappropriate times. And they're doing things like shaking their head in the opposite direction when they talk about the attack. So be careful on finding one body language move and thinking it's just flat out always lying and that someone's pants are on fire. To detect deception, you have to look for what we call clusters, several things. By the way, someone said I talk a lot. Yeah, welcome to the party. My mother's last words before she died, literally, were, Janine, you talk a blue streak. And I love you anyway. If you want it clear and concise, your news update, then my suggestion is hit Google your question, and you'll get a clear, concise answer on Google or an article you can read at your leisure. If you're here because you want to hear what I have to say, understand it's packaged in a whole lot of talking, and it's just my way. If you don't like it, bye. Thanks for tuning in. Everyone else, thanks for staying.
Today's mission, I'm talking to.
Oh, this is my demo video. If you're wondering, who the hell is this chick? This is me.
Your blue streak. Reframing all these things that have happened in our life, good or bad, doing a reset, calling in a blue streak. A blue streak is something that changes the trajectory of your life like this. It's magic.
She's changed the way I notice things in conversations, little things that people do.
I am truth. I am generosity. I am power. Who wants to meet me at Truth, Generosity, and Power? Say I do. Here we go. What I'm going to challenge you to do is the minute you walk up this door, an hour after this, a month, a year, 5 years, that what you're going to learn from me today is going to pop in your head. That's the thing she showed me on the face. I just saw it with my boss. My kid just did that shrug. I now know what that means. You cannot unsee, unhear, or unexperience what we're going to go through today. Oh my God, Janine. It is so radical. We see people at work or at clients hang up on us. That's their significance. My mother used to say, hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. So be careful of going in and meeting people at anger when in fact it could be fear or sadness. Investigate a little further. No one's given us the manual. But I brought the lenses that I train and give to the CIA, to the FBI, Scotland Yard Police, the Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola. Don't walk out being Janine, don't walk out being Mika, walk out being the best version of you. Figure out what you believe, and I'll tell you, the world will pound down your door to cheer you on and get to know you. People do not want you to be perfect. They want you to be authentic. Your truth, your power, your generosity. You're my people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I see the questions coming in. I'm looking right here. I see a lot of questions coming my way. I'll answer them at the end. We have a lot to cover. First things first, let me move my video. Hopefully this moves over to the side. I want to show you the 7 levels of reading and influencing human behavior. This is connected with sales. I'm a consultant and I go into different companies, ADP, Kronos, Procter & Gamble, Lockheed Martin. The list goes on, talking about the 7 levels of reading and influencing human behavior. So what we'll be talking about tonight with regard to Jussie Smollett and Kim Kardashian is in level 1 down here. So you're going to see right here, level 1 is cognition. Cognition is how the body and the brain are having a conversation with one another. So the body is influencing the brain and the brain is influencing the body. Also, we're going to bounce in a little bit in level 2 here, which is emotion. And you're going to see some of the emotion we're going to talk about, especially with regard to sadness. I'm going to compare for you guys the difference between Jussie and Kim Kardashian with regard to sadness in their interviews when they both cry. How do we know one is complete BS and the other's legit, you know, or really, really good acting, right? So I believe it's legit. And then, of course, we're going to be in hanging out in 3. The whole level 3 is packaging it all together, which is detecting deception. Innovation, our techniques on persuading people, current and old, tried and true techniques that work. We will not be talking about that tonight. And then if you go to that second level here, the light, the middle gray, right in this area, this is movement pattern analysis. And these levels 5 and 6 are advanced. I probably will eventually talk about these. I'm thinking of profiling Jussie with movement pattern analysis and showing you how I profile him. And that way I get to, because he's going to be around for a while, because he's going to be arrested. And if he takes a plea deal, he may go to court. We're going to find out what he ends up doing. So right here, it would be really cool to tell you how he is motivated to make decisions and why he would make such a stupid decision to lie. And then step 6 here, level 6 is motivation. This is how to tell people are motivated with their time and energy. Cohesion is how we work together, how we work with other people. And last but not least is level 7, which is retention. And this is driver on demand. I know a lot of you have been asking, how do I get certified in this stuff? How do I become a body language expert? Or I'm just fascinated with this. What can I do? Well, that's online coming soon, virtual training, driver on demand. Literally, I had a call on Friday. We're trying to get this up and running before the end of February. I doubt it's going to happen, but at least the beginning, first 2 weeks of March. It'll be live. We'll give people here on my Facebook live show, Celebrity Lie Detector Live. You'll get a special discount and we'll give you a heads up. So we'll talk to you about that. How can you find out more when that launches so you get that special discount and be one of my people? Okay. All right, let's start off with a win for me, the Celebrity Lie Detector. You know, people are saying, you know, this would be great if you predicted this before it happened. Yeah, I did predict it before it all went down. I did a Facebook Live last week before the brothers were even arrested, the 2 brothers that Jussie hired. And then I predicted this the other night when I stayed up till 4 a.m. I'm going to have you watch this. This is my YouTube that I did a couple nights ago till 4 a.m. I was exhausted. I want you to listen to what I said, because it's a big win. I predicted, why is it possible? You know, what would be the cause that Jussie Smollett would hire these two guys, his friends really from the show, and pretend it was a hate crime against him. This is another one, by the way. I said the LGBT community suffers from this lie, and you're right. So the Black African American community, they suffer as well, and just everybody across the board, anyone involved with any type of hate crime or any minority that is picked on in any way. Everyone is affected by this guy lying, and it just sets a bad precedent. And sadly, it could just create more hate in the world. All right, let's watch. Where's the big win from the other night? What did I predict before we even found out? You tell me. Listen for it.
The fact that we have these fear mongers.
Look at that. Fear
These
mongers.
people that are
This is what the real issue is here.
trying to separate us. And
Lips disappear.
it's just not okay.
Now we see
It's
happiness
just not
here.
okay.
We see happiness here. So it's either duping delight or it could be embarrassment. So maybe subconsciously it's embarrassment that in order for him to bring this to the limelight, for us to take it seriously. Supposedly he got these letters in the mail with hate letters. So maybe no one was taking that seriously. He's like, all right, let's stage an attack. By the way, I don't know if you remember, there was an attack that was staged a long time ago and fake letters sent too. A little case called the Tanya Harding case.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. I called it. Look at this, reporting in all over the media. Jussie Smollett staged hoax attack because threatening letter Empire Star was sent didn't get enough attention. Who called it? The day before the media starts talking about it. Listen, I'm not the only person that called this. I'm sure you called it at home too, because you're smart. You watch investigative shows. If you're watching my show right here, if you're watching Celebrity Lie Detector live on Facebook, you probably follow crime shows and you probably try to put the pieces of puzzle together. This is what I'm really big on doing as a body language and detecting deception expert. I get out there and I put my analysis out and I put my opinion out as fast as I possibly can, because I want to get ahead of the game. It is so much easier to pick apart after we know the person has been arrested or they're guilty or we've got witnesses coming forward. So just based on the behavior and the word choices is where I like to come out as soon as I can, once I get enough information. So yes, I gave myself a round of applause. Yeah, my big ego is on display tonight. You like my little person going like this, my little Janine driver in the corner? Yeah, wicked big ego. I already know it. Something I'm working on. Evidently, I need more work on it. All right. If you remember the other night, I talked about how a truthful story versus a deceptive story, that there's different percentages. And so I want to talk about this. Let me move me over here. So it's between 30, 50, and 20. So 30, if the story up front, 50% the actual attack, the arc of the story, and then 20% after story. Or it could be 30, 50, 20. Or it could be 25, 50, 25. If you notice, the number that remains pretty much the same across the board, whether it's with me or any human lie detector, is that 50%. The moral of the story is the bulk of the story, half of the story should be on the actual incident and should be on the crime. Even if you just tell the story in 25 sentences, 50% of that out of the 25, there should be 12.5 sentences about the attack or the crime or the situation at hand. For Jussie's numbers, they came in terribly. Look at this, 42%. This is what we see the most with deceptive people. They'll often tell a lot of the lie up front because it creates a safety net for them. And this could be the truthful part, right? So Jussie could have went and got a salad and could have called his manager and could have done all these things. And so it creates some stalling time before they have to get into the actual lie, the arc of the story. This is very often, this is typical. We see this a lot. So his numbers were 42, 30, 28. So just that amount of talking about the story indicated this guy's holding something back. This guy's holding something back. What we do when we read people, and by we I mean body language experts and behavior analysis experts, is we always get what's called the baseline. We also call this norming. What is your normal behavior? We'll say, did you norm them? Verbally and non-verbally. So some people verbally may say things like, I swear to God, if Tom Brady wins one more Super Bowl, I'm never going to watch football again. I swear to God, if it gets any colder here, I'm moving to Arizona or Orlando, Florida. I swear to God. So some people, it's just, I'm a swear to God person. Some people say a lot. Scott Peterson, who murdered his pregnant wife, Lacey, he was pregnant with their unborn son, Connor. He always said, until the moments of lying. In the moments of lying, he actually eliminated the ums and had dramatic pauses. He eliminates the ums. Why? Because he's a smart guy. Not that smart because he's in jail. Incidentally, do you know who recently hired the same lawyer that Scott Peterson had? Yeah, Jussie. Jussie's lawyer is the lawyer that Scott Peterson had, along with many other celebrities. So what happens is Scott Peterson was a master manipulator, psychopath, sociopath, I don't know, ask the therapist. Bottom line is he knew that in the moment of lying, a lot of us consider someone lying when they have a lot of ums. That's called verbal fillers. But for him, that wasn't the case. See, his baseline had the ums. So when the ums disappeared, this is where hotspots come in. There's something called layered voice analysis out there, LVA, layered voice analysis. Now, some people love it and some people do not like it. I got to tell you, I was hooked up to an LVA machine to check it out and see how it works. And they do get your baseline, and you just talk about what do you see? I'm in my living room and I'm sitting under this like crazy red and white chandelier light thing. I don't know if you could see my crazy light, not really. And you just describe whatever's in front of you. And they get your baseline, and then you tell a story that's true and a story that's lie. And this layered voice analysis, LVA, will pop up and say increase in stress, deception. It was really cool. And if you hook this Scott Peterson up with what he said on television, just play it next to the TV. It shows you where the deception pops up, where those ums begin to disappear as baseline changes. So we have to baseline people. By the way, you don't need an hour to baseline someone. I try to grab a couple videos where they had nothing to hide and where they were probably relaxed with the person. If there was a fire right now and ATF agents came out and we're all witnesses to this explosion or this fire, they have to baseline everybody so quickly as they're getting your statement. So a baseline happens with non-threatening questions that the person has no need to lie about, and getting someone as comfortable as possible is ideal. With regard to something called movement pattern analysis, remember those two layers I showed you in my triangle? This is levels 5 and 6, okay? 5 and 6. And reason I bring this up is when we are interviewing you for that, to get your movement pattern analysis profile, it's critical not just to get a baseline, but we want to make sure we don't get you crying. Because when people cry and get overly emotional, they actually have less movement when someone is really, really crying. You cannot profile someone with movement pattern analysis if they are suffering from depression, because we need to spot 12 movements all human beings make with their bodies. And if you're depressed, your movements end up decreasing quite a bit. So let's get Jussie's baseline.
And it was a one-pot dish.
This is what I did. I pulled videos of him. Let's watch it. So let's watch him. So I pulled some videos. I just went on the internet. I do this anytime if I'm going on television. I'll go find as much material as I can on somebody, if there is anything, to get their baseline. So here I just went online, grabbed some baseline videos of Jussie. And what I want you to pay attention to with regard to Jussie's videos here are his hand gestures. With regard to hand gestures, we have a couple different moves. One is called an illustrator. An illustrator is, I'm climbing the ladder. Not called, that's a different one. That's called the emblem. So I'm climbing the ladder. I ran as fast as I could. We were tumbling over. He punched me in the face. Or an illustrator helps illustrate the story, Emblems is just another word for a body language gesture that means something. It has specific meaning to it. So if I were to scratch my nose with my middle finger, you know what my middle finger means. Or if I'm at a restaurant and I go, check please, or check please, or I say come here, or I go stop, or I do call me. These are called emblems. An emblem has a common recognizable meaning, but this is territorial. It is not universal. Because I got to tell you, I did this in Puerto Rico once, and I got a couple guys' phone numbers. I'm just saying, Google it. Be careful, hand gestures, these emblems can mean something different in not only different parts of the country. I mean, different parts of the world, but also in different parts of the country. So emblems, you'll often see emblems in sporting events. All right. Why do I tell you this? I don't really care if they're called illustrators or emblems. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. What I'm looking for here is Jussie's baseline. When he tells a story, does he use hand gestures? Is he animated? Does he move his body while he's talking? Does he have what we call integrated movement, where the top part of the body and the bottom, we see it flows together. It's called the PGM, posture gesture merger. So not only, because sometimes people can use gestures, I'm really excited you're here. Guess what? I want you to call me. But their body is not integrated. Hey, give me a call. So you want to see people moving their body along with their gestures. This is when we know they're showing up as more authentic. So this posture gesture merger. So I'm going to rewind this one. Let's watch Jussie. Let's just get a couple quick baseline videos. See his hand gestures, whether they're emblems or they're illustrators. Notice his hand gestures when he tells a story. Because what happens is when he tells us the story about the attack, we see very little hand gestures. As a matter of fact, the hand gestures he uses are not in sync with the story. Let's watch that one again. Let's watch that one again. Stand by. Let me back this up. Here we go. If it's quick, it's a quickie.
It really was. And it was a one-pot dish that you pour everything in, and it's delicious.
All right. Do you see this? So watch it. He's just moving. Watch him. Watch his hand gestures. Just start to visualize.
And it was a one-pot dish.
One-pot dish.
You pour everything in, and it's delicious.
It's delicious. It's delicious. Now, if you were to guess, is this an emblem, a common recognizable symbol, or is this an illustrator? I'm sure you would guess illustrator. The reason it's an illustrator is if we just did this move and had 100 people in the United States take a survey, what am I saying? We would not all say the same thing. So therefore, it is not an emblem. It's an illustrator. It's helping him tell the story. He's very animated. Let's watch another one.
All right, so it happened in Chicago. At the United Center, and she was doing the State of the World tour. And I had met her briefly, but it was, Empire wasn't on, so I was kind of there as like Journey's brother. You know what I'm saying? So
this is him meeting Janet Jackson.
Just singing in the background, but this time around, I got invited, and I went, and like Gil was there, and Janet was there, and it was like her choreographer and artistic.
I want you to see his body movement, right? It's very integrated.
My assistant, my homie, my muse, and after
you see,
going in the back, I was hanging with Johnny Gill.
He's trying to gather his thoughts. Pay attention to this.
All right. And then, so we go back backstage, and she it's like this gust of wind. She turned around, and that ponytail right there literally went like, shh. Everything.
See how animated he is?
I like it. I just kept repeating like a loser. I kept on repeating. I was like, I love you. And she's like, I love you too. Thank you so much. And I'm just like, no, Janet, like, I love you. I've been to every tour, and I probably should have shut up. And then I got embarrassed, and there was this weird silence, and I just backed away. And I'm like, well, bless you. And then her photographer was like, you want a picture? I was silent. And then she's like, only if you want to. And then I got my picture.
So she was nice and you were the weirdo.
I was absolutely the weirdo. She was so sweet.
All right, so a bunch of movement happening here, right? He's very animated. He's looking around. We see integrated movement with his body. And I want you to notice, did you notice too, his tone and pitch? Not tone and pitch, his speed of talking. So he was talking pretty fast, but then sometimes he'd slow it down and give us a little bit of drama. So this is indicative of someone who's, following his baseline. His baseline is that he can go really, really fast and slow down to make a point and then pick it back up really quickly. Incredibly animated here, and we see integrated movement. All right, this is Jussie. Now, granted, he's telling, some of you are saying, well, Janine, he's talking about meeting Janet Jackson. That's completely different than getting attacked by a couple guys in Chicago. Well, first things first, we already know he's being brought up on felony charges. All right, so that whole like maybe he's telling the truth thing, let's get rid of that, flush it down the toilet, because he's being brought up on felony charges. All right, so let's start there. So the doubters, you're about 72 hours late.
Well, it was season 2, so it was a season level scene. It was a season 2 level scene. But we were like, this is not real. And I remember sitting there, no disrespect to our writers, because they worked their asses off. But we sat there and we literally rewrote that scene. And we were saying it to each other, what's the worst thing that a father or any parent could tell their child, particularly their gay child, that they've had a problem with? And Terrence said this, and I was like,
Look at him.
like, that hurt me to my core.
See that pausing? So, oof. So we see him in his body. You can literally feel him in his body. When he does this movement, like, oof, this is an increase in pressure. When we see this like thumping, I'm going to play this one again. And you see him, oh, I felt that in my body. I just notice how animated he is and how fluid he is and how he is in his body. And notice the pausing when the words come to emphasize something. Let's play this again.
Well, it was season 2, so it was a season level scene. It was a season 2 level scene. But we were like, this is not real.
This is good. So he has these like verbal fillers. It's his baseline.
Because they work their asses off. But we sat there and we literally
we pause. Look at the illustrator.
We were saying it to each other. What's the worst thing that a father or any parent
could tell
their child, particularly their gay child, that they've had a problem with? And Terrence said this, and I was like that hurt me to my core.
All right, and Terrence said this, and that hurt me to my core. Do you see this movement as he's using all these illustrators, and his body has this increase in pressure, and we see this, he's in his body here. When you watch this, you feel like he's really being him, right? You feel like this is really him.
From a very young age, we were taught to be very, maybe to some extremely self-sufficient.
I think this is the last baseline
clip. We didn't have a lot growing up, just like,
look at him sitting up, integrated in his body, leaning forward.
What society considered to be the food chain. We was broke. So, but we had love, like more love than you could ever know what to do with. And we had this kind of understanding that you create, whether it's food, whether it's art, whatever it is, you create it and you create it together and you create it for yourselves and for anyone else that you welcome around. And that was the one thing that we always say this looking back. I don't understand because we did not have money, but our mom found a way to somehow make it, festive and make it a party.
Look at these gestures, guys.
Surrounded around food and the table, the family table, available now at all book things.
All right, do you see these hand gestures? I think we've got a good solid baseline on this guy, Jussie. Now, I've never seen the show that he was on. I never even knew he existed. I don't watch television, so we don't even have live TV. I watch Apple TV and watch a couple shows, Grey's Anatomy, Blacklist, and I watch the new show, Manifest. You watch Manifest? I like it. All right, so this is his baseline now. Let's see what we have here. Surprise attacks. One thing for sure, nobody sees a pool shark coming. So I want to talk about how ridiculous it is right here. Now, we saw his baseline. We got a good solid baseline on Jussie. I want you to see, do we see him in his body? Do we see the movement? Listen to the tone and the pitch and the verbal fillers. Are they there? Is he gathering his thoughts? And I want you to pay attention to his illustrators or his emblems, his hand gestures as he's talking. Do we see them? We do see that a little bit when he talks about the fight. But what I want you to pay attention to here is when he goes and he punched me. And he punched me. That punch has no effort in it. When we get to Kim Kardashian and you watch her tell the story, she's like, well, they took me, and you can see the tenseness in her hand gestures as she's telling about the attack. But he's like, they punched me, and I punched him right back. I punched him right back. Tiny little teeny gestures with no oomph on them. And when the guy comes over, the second guy, and he starts kicking him, there's no and he's like kicking me in my back, and I'm like down, and I like grabbed him, and it's all, there's nothing here. A truthful person uses the hand gestures while they're telling the story, especially someone who's attacked. So imagine me saying to you, okay, you're in a third world country, and they don't know how to build a ladder, and your job is to teach them how to build a ladder. Okay, you have to teach them how to build a ladder. And here's the rungs, and here's the wood, and here's the nail, and here's the hammer. And you cannot use any hand gestures or head gestures. And just with your words, you have to teach these people who don't speak your language how to build a ladder. How to build a ladder. Think of how hard that would be. I need you to grab the hammer. They look at you. They don't know what the hammer is. You can't point to it, gesture to it. You can't hold it up. How do you explain it with your words? It's not easy, but if you can explain it by holding the nail and taking the hammer, and then how to climb the ladder, you're going to take one rung at a time. I sometimes do this in my keynote presentations to prove the power of body language and how it helps us communicate more effectively and a lot faster if you understand the power of using hand gestures at the right time. So let's watch Jussie again, and then we'll dive into some real people who have been really attacked, and we'll look for what does authentic behavior look like when someone's attacked.
And I didn't answer. I kept walking, and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, "Did you just say to me?" And I see the attacker masked. And he said, "This MAGA country," punches me right in the face. So I punched his ass back. And then we started tussling. It was very icy. And we ended up tussling by the stairs. Fighting. There was a second person involved who was kicking me in my back. And then it just stopped.
All right, do you see this? And then it just stopped. I talked about this the other day. He's like, and then it's just stopped. Notice this. When we get to Kim Kardashian, what we see here with Jussie is this fake sadness. When we are authentically sad, the emotions themselves interlace. And I was talking about this the other night on my YouTube video series. If you have not seen this, by the way, please go to YouTube after tonight. And when you get some time, because it's 2 hours of content, and type in Janine Driver Celebrity Lie Detector, and you'll see I did 4 episodes for 2 hours. And truthful people, the emotions overlap, and we just don't see it here. His sadness comes, his fake sadness comes and disappears in the blink of an eye. Sorry, someone's plowing. We had a huge snowstorm here today in the Alexandria, Virginia area, DC area. So it caught my eye. And plus I have ADD. So watch, I'm going to play this again. So I want you to watch how quickly the sadness disappears, and he just keeps talking, and then he ends in our smile. Let's watch this one more time, and then we'll go into some real attacks.
And I
Smiling.
didn't answer. I kept walking, and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, "Did you just say to me?" And I see.
All right, so let me back that up. How do I pause this? All right, I want to pause this. He's telling the story that he hears this, this terrible slur, and as he hears it, he goes, "So I turned around, and this person's here." What I'm looking for here is him to be in his body, right? We already see that he moves, and he's very integrated in his body, his increase in pressure. And as he's telling us this story, what we should see, if he was a good actor, is we should say, and I turned around and I see this guy coming at me, right? Even when I tell stories on the stage, I'm like, I went into my kitchen, my dad's like, "Hey babe, how you doing?" I'm like, "Good, Dad, how are you?" Right? You naturally will move your body when you're sharing a story, especially about a story that involves other human beings. And especially if it's part of your baseline, which we know for Jussie it is, because he's done this before. So he goes, I turn around, and he just keeps talking because he just has this memorized script that he's given to Raman. It would have been much more congruent for him to be like, and then I turn around and I hear this guy, and we just don't see it here. Let's keep watching it one more time.
And I didn't answer. I kept walking, and then I heard Empire. So I turned around and I said, "Did you just say to me?" I don't know.
Okay, right here. And I turn around and I say, "What the F did you just say to me? Really?" No, he forgot to let his face in on the secret. He probably should have Googled, what does your face look like when you start saying F words to people who are wearing masks and walking towards you saying racial slurs? Because he should have been like, and I turned around and I said, "What did you say? What did you say?" Because this guy can have a little attitude. I've seen him. You'll see when he talks about Subway. If you've not seen the full interview, oh my God, he gets really into his Subway being open late at night. He gets wicked attitude-y. So right here, where's the attitude, dude? I'm looking for attitude. What did you just say? What did you say to me? What did you just say? Just doesn't happen, right? He's like, and I'm like, what did you just say? Bad acting.
The attacker.
Fake sadness. The attack.
Masked. And
I covered this the other night. Quick tip. It's not an attacker. It's a person walking towards you in a mask. But because he lied and the whole thing was staged, he is calling the person the attacker. It should have been in that guy saying mean stuff with the mask on. He started walking towards me because he's not an attacker yet. But he is for Jussie because they rehearsed it supposedly.
He said, "This MAGA country punches me right in the face." So I punched his ass back.
Okay, this is the part I want you to look at, guys. Look.
We started ass back. I punched his ass back. So I country punches me right in the face.
All right. What do you think we should be looking for here? He does what? He punches me right in the face. What do you think a truthful person would say? You'll see. Watch Kim Kardashian when she tells her story. And he punched me right in the face, right? This is what we should be hearing from Jussie and seeing from Jussie, and we're just not. And he came out and he punched me right in the face, and I punched him back. There's no increase in pressure here, and he's not showing us where you'll see with the real people who were attacked. One was attacked by a bear, one was attacked by a great white shark, one was, and then I have two guys, a couple, who were attacked with a hate crime, that were really attacked, like Jussie's trying to say happened to him. And you watch when they all tell their stories about being attacked, not every single step do they demonstrate, they're not, what are these things? They're not pantomimes, they're not, look at me, I'm in the box, I'm opening the window, I'm out of the box, right? Back in the box. Anyway, there's my pantomime. There you go. One time I was at pantomime at Halloween and my sisters came. I used to have I don't drink alcohol, but I used to. Believe me, my 20s and 30s, I made up for a lifetime of alcohol. And I was at my Halloween party making pizza bagels. This is in Connecticut when I lived there and worked for the federal government. And my sisters were there, Carrie and Kayleen. And I was a pantomime. And I had to try to tell them to get the bagels. And my sister's like, how long am I supposed to keep the bagels in? And I'm like, and she's like, knock it off. Stop pantomiming. The pizza bagels. Anyway, there's my ADT. All right, here we go. My name's Janine Driver. If you're just tuning in, be sure to share this on your page. If you're finding this valuable, make sure you like it, share it with other people so they can watch it too. It's not just analyzing this case. It's literally, hopefully, at the other end of you here on Facebook Live. Hopefully you're learning something to make smarter decisions with the people in your life so you can protect your family, your friends, your finances. My life's mission is to inspire people to look at their world in a different way. My name's Janine Driver. I'm the celebrity lie detector. So I'm so happy you're here. Click below, share your page so other people can chime on in and tell them about it. Every single Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. It's free, guys. My kids are upstairs sleeping. Actually, I heard one on the stairs a couple seconds ago. But my kids are sleeping. It's Wednesday night, 10 o'clock, East Coast time, every single Wednesday. It's live. It's free. It's my gift for you so we can connect. And if I can help you in any way, please let me know. Let's spread some love while we analyze people. I always say everyone's fighting a battle we know nothing about. I believe that. So everybody is fighting a battle we know nothing about. All right, let's keep going. All right, now these are real attacks. So I'm showing you these attack cats. These are real attacks. The first one, this guy was attacked by a bear.
Ended up hearing
watch his gestures. So watch his gestures. Watch as he tells the story. I want you to notice how he's talking. Also notice some suspicious behavior. This really happened. Everything he's telling us is truthful. But you may see things like as he's talking, he could be shaking his head. And then I did this. And then I did that. This is why I'm not big on head nods in one direction or another. We have internal dialogue. So a piece of his brain could be talking right now saying like, I can't even believe that happened to me, man. I was like, wow, I can't believe I knew that. If I was the person interviewing him, I would say, what if I noticed the head nod in the different direction? I'd just say, what is it you're thinking right now in your head? It's highly likely that he'll say, I didn't know I'd had it in me. I was like, I can't even believe I'm going through this. I can't even believe this. This is unbelievable. So be careful. Sometimes people will come up to me after an event and say, you were amazing. Janine, I can't even believe it. I learned so much today. And they're shaking their head. No, it doesn't mean they didn't learn a lot. It's just they're like, wow, I wasn't expecting it maybe. Let's watch the guy attacked by the bear.
I ended up hearing some pine needles rustle, like a stick break.
I don't know if you noticed something here.
Some pine needles rustle, some.
Here where he says pine needles rustle, he's going to leak disgust. Watch.
I ended up hearing